Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Zone for Time Warner Cable Sports and the Texas Channel. I'm your host, John Nelson. Gordon Jago is a name synonymous with soccer not only in the North Texas area, but across the state for years. One of the most prestigious soccer events is about to take place again this spring, the Dallas Cup. It is Dallas Cup 32, April 17th through the 24th. Gordon Jago is the executive director. Gordon, once again, one of those great times of the year that you look forward to. How many teams, how many countries, how many continents involved?
It's just incredible. I don't know if I look forward to this time of the year. It's crazy for us at the moment. But this year, it's the 32nd year. We have 180 teams, ages 13 up to under 19. There are 37 countries, different countries going to be recognized. 20 international teams with 3 firsts, Puerto Rico, India, and the Cayman Islands. So that's 3 first teams that we're going to have. And 37, I think it's 20 different countries represented with our referees. Azerbaijan, Qatar, it's just incredible. And it all comes together, as you said, on the 17th of April.
And the opening match, you couldn't have asked for a better opening night.
No, we're very good. In our super group, which is the elite, you know, these are under 19, these are nearly all professionals except for our young American boys, and we will open up with Tigres of Mexico playing Real Salt Lake, and then we go up with Barcelona from Spain playing the FC Dallas, and we finish in the evening on the 7:30 kickoff with Arsenal Football Club versus the Dallas Texans, who is the host club. So it's USA versus the rest of the world.
Gordon, the last couple of years, the under-19 group, Brazil, has really been hard to beat.
Oh, yes, very much so. I think that they have a tremendous record in, I think it's like 13 times a Brazilian team has been in the super bracket, and 11 times a Brazilian team has won it. They do come very, very heavily loaded with the best players possible. And they are very difficult. But this year, Arsenal Football Club and Barcelona are going to be very, very strong. Arsenal Football Club have a tremendous team, play very, very attractive soccer, and it's the first time Arsenal Football Club have ever come to the United States at any level. So it's another big first for us. But they're going to be, in that super group in particular, there's going to be some tremendous matches, I think, throughout the whole of the week.
Gordon, this area literally rolls out the red carpet for these kids. There is a lot to do once they get here.
Oh, yes. You've got tours organized for them for the Cowboy Stadium, and to see the new stadium there. There's an opportunity for them to go to see the Rough Riders baseball on the Thursday evening. And of course, what we also do, John, we take 2 teams into the local children's hospitals. 2 of the supergroup go there, and 4 teams go into schools. And that gives them a chance to go 3 or 4 to a class and have a meet and greet, and gives our youngsters a chance to ask them questions about their country, their way of life, and vice versa. So it's not just the games. There's a tremendous amount going on the whole of the week, much diversity, as I've said, and that's a very important factor to us, that it's more than just a soccer tournament.
Gordon, is this a chance for volunteers? Do you still need volunteers, or is this a chance for someone looking in maybe that would like to get interested?
Yes, but it's interesting. We've normally worked about 12 to 1,400 volunteers. We have 32 committees, but this year, because of so many foreign teams coming, we're over 70 international teams coming, and the unique part about our tournament is the homestay program, whereby a local Dallas team will entertain one of the foreign teams. And so the 18 players will be split up into 9 pairs, and they stay with American families. And that enables the foreign teams to come here from a cost factor. And so that family will look after that boy, provide him with breakfast, and deliver him to the coach, the team's hotel, and then they're away for the whole day, playing, training, doing whatever, and then they're taken back by that family that night. So this year, because of 70 odd, it's increased our volunteers to over 2,000. And so at the moment, but if anybody is interested, go on our website, www.DallasCup.com, and there's an opportunity for them to join if they wish.
Gordon, when the Dallas Cup first started back in 1980, what was the selling point? What was the real true draw to host that first event?
Well, of course, 1980, you know, the soccer program in this country, in youth soccer, had only just started in the 70s. So it was brand new. It was new for the youngsters of this country to play soccer in such an organized fashion and to have an opportunity to play international teams. And what had happened here, the Texas Longhorns, who were the host club and started it all, they went over to England, John, on a tour and a couple of years and took the young boys over there to experience playing in Europe. And then what they thought, well, we're always going there, why don't they come to us? And that's how the Dallas Cup was started. It was an invitation to a number of teams. There was only 36 in the first one total, and I think 2 or 3 teams from England, which were mainly schoolboy teams at that time, and they started. So that's how it all started. It was an opportunity for these teams in England who had hosted the Texas Longhorns to come to Dallas, and it's just taken off from there.
Yeah, it really has.
It really has. And again, it is. And I mean, it's not an idle boast. We are the most prestigious youth tournament in the world. We're not the biggest. I mean, there are tournaments with 1,600 teams. We restrict ours to 180, but it is by invitation only, and it is elite. And we have the strongest international group of teams that any tournament in the world has.
What do you hear, Gordon, say a month or 2 months after the event has been concluded? What feedback do you get that would help you do things maybe a little different or a little better the next year?
Yeah, we're doing a big survey this year because we want to find out, you know, from our fans exactly what they enjoy, what they feel is correct, what they feel can be improved, and so on, and what we're doing wrong, because that's very, very important to us. But the thing that comes out of it is the factor of having all these young foreign players here. And our people, our youngsters and our families who have them in their homes, the opportunity to learn about how they live. And because when you take teams as we had a team from Israel, which was the peace team, which was 9 Israelis and 9 Palestinians. We received worldwide publicity because of that. But the interesting thing was that you had a Palestinian, an Israeli, and a USA boy in the same home. And it was fascinating to hear the stories afterwards from the parents when they got into conversations, you know, the differences of education, and of the problems of that part of the world. So that to me personally, you know, the soccer's great, and of course I'm a soccer person and I enjoy all that, but the thing that I enjoy most is having an opportunity to talk with the people who've had that opportunity to live and play and be entertained with people from another country, different cultures. Fascinating, some of the stories that and I keep saying to all the staff who've been around a little longer than I have, there's a book there to be written, fascinating book.
There would be.
Oh, it's a fascinating book, yes.
Gordon Jago, my guest this week on the Sports Zone. Dallas Cup 32 taking place at Pizza Hut Park in Frisco on April 17th through the 24th. A break here and back with more right after this.
You know, old stuff is cool. Craftsmanship, the attention to detail. But you don't want to use it to surf the internet. That's exactly what you're doing with the phone company's DSL. It's a phone line. It's slow. Time Warner Cable Internet is way faster. I mean, back in the day, this was advanced technology. But, I mean, back then, people thought moonshine had vitamins.
Today's internet, the phone company's DSL doesn't have it. Time Warner Cable does. Time Warner Cable, the power of you. We are 6,511 engineers, 10,909 customer service reps, 1,276 dispatchers, 320,000 miles of cable, 1,104 programmers, working together with one purpose: to give ordinary people the power to do the things they want in easier, more extraordinary ways. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
And welcome back to the Sports Zone. The Dallas Cup, one of the most prestigious soccer tournaments in the country. Boys ages 12 through 19 participate in 7 age groups. Pizza Hut Park in Frisco, Gordon, one of the finest facilities in the country. You're really fortunate to be playing there. Time Warner will be televising the events again this year, and in particular we look towards the finals. But sometimes as good a games are played before you get to the finals.
Oh yes, particularly on the Wednesday, because that's the last day of qualification. And when you look at Arsenal are going to play Bolivia, the Club Bolivar, and then SC Corinthians of Brazil are going to play Tigres of Mexico. They could be absolutely vital games. Whoever wins that is going to go through. It's a 16 group in the super group, and only 4 winners go through because we've only got 8 days. We can't put a quarter-final, so they go straight into the semi-finals. And as you say, Time Warner are going to be covering all the games on the Sunday, the Wednesday, the Friday semi-finals, then all the finals, including the youngsters, under 13s, on Saturday and Sunday. So I think it's a 14-game program and gives our viewers a really great opportunity to see the different styles of soccer from the different countries that is going to be involved.
How are referees chosen? What's the selection process for the referees?
They have to be of a certain standard. We have the FIFA, which is the top level. So the FIFA referee means you are top level. You referee international games, World Cup games, and such. And in the last World Cup in South Africa, the World Cup last year, 2000, 5 of those referees out of the, I think it was 16, it was a very low number, 5 of them had been at the DallasCup in there. So that's the top level. And then, of course, you get national referees that we have. And again, we are very selective again because we can be, because we've received so many invitations to the tournament. And the other factor is that we've got now the United States, the English FA, the Japanese FA, and the New Zealand's federations all holding coaching seminars here at our tournament. They bring them in. The British are bringing in 8 young potential referees with 3 instructors. The United States doing the same number. So it gives them a chance to do their seminars, and also referee games that they perhaps wouldn't normally get in their own countries at that time.
Gordon, talk about the diversity teams and the diversity program.
Well, the diversity program is people do sometimes think the Dallas Cup's only the tournament. That's not so, John. We're busy the whole year round. We have a calendar program with 21,000 local children enter, and they do drawings about the tournament, and that constitutes 14 of those become the calendars project, and we will give $500 to the winning children, 14 of them, and $250, I think it is, to the school's art department. But again, we get 21,000 involved in that. Then we have a banner program. We deliver banners to about 100 local schools, big 8x3, and they do a social science study on one of the countries that's coming. Some take Brazil, some take Germany, and then what they do, social science study, then give it to their art department, and they turn that information into a big banner. Then we have those banners going around the city, the whole metroplex, actually, malls, city halls, for the whole year. And again, it gives these children what I think is so important. They get a chance to study another country through social science, then have the opportunity to come up with a design and so on and be creative. And that's the second program. Then we have a visit in the schools that I explained, to the teams. We have a situation with the hospital visits, and then we do summer camps. And these are for underprivileged children who couldn't afford to go to one of the soccer camps that's of the many that are being in the summer. And we invite those kids in. We work very closely with Salvation Army, Good Neighbours, and they bring the children to us, and we have those camps and clinics. And they get a T-shirt, get lunch, they get a soccer ball to go home with, and so it's another aspect of the DallasCup.
Yeah, the skills camp has proven to be a very popular part of that. All games, of course, are full length. What about the halves? How long are the halves?
For the younger ones, it's 30 minutes. I think it's under 13, under 14, it's 30 minutes each half, and then 35 for the 15s, and then 16s and up, it's 45 minutes. So it's a full game, and except for those younger ones where it's slightly less.
Can you notice a difference, Gordon, in, of course, soccer getting more exposure professionally and amateur-wise? We see a lot of it more on TV, read a lot more of it in print. Are players getting better younger? Have you noticed the coaching really increased skills-wise in the last 5 or 10 years?
Oh, without a shadow of doubt. There's no comparison. I arrived here in 1978 to Tampa as the head coach of Tampa Bay Rowdies. And when you look back now, we used to play some of the universities as practice at that time, and we would win 10 or 12. And then as years went on, got down to 5-2 or 5-1. And even now, I mean, our youngsters are developing unbelievably. We've got so many young boys now playing in other countries around the world. Our national teams are doing exceptionally well. I think we've made the finals of, well, certainly the last 5 World Cup finals with our national first team, but it's also the same in the under-17s, under-19s, doing so well. And there isn't any comparison, John, in the standard of play, say, 10 years ago and what it is today. The improvement in our boys is just incredible.
What about on the international scene, Gordon? Because you'd be a perfect one to ask this question. Can you still see, say, 16, 17-year-old, that group, a different style between Germany and Panama?
Oh,
Is there
yes.
still a direct definition of style of play?
Oh, without a shadow of doubt. And that's one of the interesting things that the referees like about coming to our tournament. They get a chance, you know, if we get an English referee or a Scottish referee or even a European referee in general, they've not had a chance to referee a Central American or a South American player. And there's a different attitude sometimes. There's certainly a different style of play, and that's also for the fan and for the player, because you know, you're getting to play against different styles that wouldn't normally play against. So you're learning all the time, and that's the whole thing about the DallasCup. Again, it's the difference of the style that we get from South America, Central America, and Europe in particular. It gives it's an education, soccer education, and for the players, for the referee, and for the fans. And it's just fascinating to listen to some of the fans afterwards who are suddenly becoming aware of the different styles and becoming much more knowledgeable. And I find that absolutely marvelous. That's to me, you know, I get excited. As I say, I get excited about that, because to me that's what it's all about. It's not just watching a game. You're seeing different styles. You're getting to assess them, and you're becoming a little bit better knowledge.
A final break here, and back with our remaining portion with Gordon Jago right after this break.
Imagine a perfect day. The sun is shining, you wake up, suddenly you can speak Portuguese. You finally mastered nunchucks. You can juggle. Your children's artwork is worth money. And bacon is good for you. Even on that perfect day, Satellite will still charge you extra for HD. And they'll still expect you to put a big honkin' satellite dish somewhere. Now imagine life on a not perfect day.
No satellite dishes. Satellite can't say that. Time Warner Cable can. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
And welcome back to the Sports Zone. The prestigious DallasCup 32 will take place April 17th through the 24th at Pizza Hut Park in Frisco, visiting with Executive Director Gordon Jago. And we were talking off camera, and I want you to amplify on this, Gordon, about some of the kids who were playing in the fields, in Dallas, on fields all over the place, and what they have done since. 3 names come to mind that you were bringing up.
Yeah, well, you picked David Beckham, of course, who's so well known. Wayne Rooney, a young boy now playing for Manchester United, and Robinho and Jago. I'd take 4, and the 2 Brazilian boys. And these players played in the DallasCup when they were youngsters. Beckham 15, Rooney 12, and the other 2 Brazilian boys that's under 16. And they've gone on to become world stars, and now they've been sold by their clubs on transfers. And we've got a list of players that we know of, and it's totaled $503 million has been spent on boys, men now, who played in the DallasCup but are now world-class stars. And it's just incredible.
Speaking of Beckham, he's in the final year of his contract with the LA Galaxy. Can he bring him a championship?
I think they've got a good chance, because they've got a good side. They've taken Angel from New York and signed him. I think it's a Colombian player, centre forward, and I think that's going to strengthen them considerably. And of course, Bruce Arena, the coach, very well experienced in world-class soccer. I think the Galaxy have got an excellent chance. Donovan's going to be in good form, and the most important thing, John, they've had a rest. You know, Beckham's had a rest, Donovan's had a rest. They've not gone off and played on loan for other European teams and then come back, you know, having not really had a rest break.
You know, the Gold Cup is coming up in June at Cowboy Stadium. You've got El Salvador, Mexico, Cuba, and Costa Rica on June the 5th.
Yes, and I think we've also got Barcelona coming in a competition. I think that, yes, Barcelona are going to play Club America sometime in July, no, early August. And so we are happy because we've got Barcelona boys under 19 coming to us in April. The full Barcelona team is going to be at Cowboy Stadium in August. And so, again, for the soccer fan in Dallas, you know, they can see a tremendous amount of good soccer in the DallasCup, and they can also look forward to the Gold Cup and this other international tournament being played at the Cowboy Stadium.
Gordon, indoors or outdoors, who was the most complete player that you coached, was able to really see an improvement from year to year, and by their final year, they had no weakness?
Certainly indoors easy. There was a Yugoslavian Sungul. He was the Lord of Indoors, they called him, and he was excellent. He was an outdoor player that came, but probably the best indoor player I've ever seen any place. And the most improved was a young boy I got, now lives in Dallas, coaches kids now, is Tattoo, a Brazilian. We brought him to Tampa in about 1980 or 82, and he became a brilliant indoor player. He worked hard and such. Probably the most improved player, and he's the second one to Zungo, without a shadow of doubt, indoors. Outdoors, for me, geez, I wouldn't know who that would be. Possibly a forward, Stan Bowles, and Rodney Marsh, probably. Those two were outstanding players that I've had. But I had a marvellous team at QPR with all international players and some great leaders, Frank McClintock, who played for Scotland, and Venables, who played for England and became the England team coach. Mm-hmm. So that would be very difficult to pick one of those and say he was the best. But certainly indoors, Zungu, Tattoo, brilliant.
DallasCup, how many universities and colleges do you hear from?
We had 132 last year. College coaches came to the tournament to assess players with the opportunity to offer scholarships. We'll probably have more this year because I think of the teams, the caliber of teams that we're bringing to us. And it's very interesting. There's a club team in Liverpool, John, Knowsley Boys Club. They're coming, I think, for their 17th year. 2 years ago, college coaches that came, 9 of those players were offered scholarships. These are hard-working areas. Kids didn't have too much going for them, but 5 of them took the opportunity of the 9 and are now in American colleges. Mm-hmm. So it's another aspect of DallasCup that not too many people know about. The coaches come, they find the American boys, yes, but they also find some boys from overseas that they can bring to this country for a scholarship and have a player as well.
What do you look for in that championship game? You look for consistency, you look for the same style of play from a team that began the week, or what really piques your interest that final game?
The final game, of course, the biggest problem is fatigue because they've played 5 games in the week. And that's why we've done away with the quarterfinal. But we've now been able to give them a day's rest between each. So from the quarterfinals to the semis, from the semis to the final, there's a day rest, which helps them. But that's the biggest problem. And it is really important that whichever team comes through has a good squad. They've got 22 players in their supergroup, and it's a strong 22 because they're going to have to use them playing those 5 games at that level of play. It's consistency that you're looking for, and the fact that they've come through perhaps not too fatigued, no injuries, and for that final game, because it's certainly the finals we've seen in recent years have been incredibly high standard, very, very high standard. The Sao Paulos, the Chelseas, the Liverpools really have produced top-class soccer at that level. Because remember, many of them are very close to their club first teams, and many have played in the Premier League or in La Liga or in the Italian league. They've already been there, and as I said, Ben Sahar, who played for Chelsea, played for Israel against England in a full international the week before the DallasCup and flew directly from that game to join the Chelsea squad and play here. Mm-hmm. So it's just we're very fortunate. It's a great tournament, not because I have the joy of being with it, but it's a great tournament. It is of a very high caliber of play, and our young American boys are getting a chance to play against the very best, and our fans are getting a chance to see the very best at youth level.
This is kind of soccer related, but I want to ask you this. Growing up where you did, tell me the story of Mick Jagger, his son, the soccer connection. You didn't think I was going to ask you that, did you?
No.
Or how did I know that?
Yes, I'm surprised that. I'm going to have to keep this very brief. I was coaching. I was a player in the first division, and there was this gentleman who ran the soccer courses, and I just got my preliminary coaching badge, and so I would go around with him, and we would teach teachers in the English schools how to coach. And he's had his two boys, Michael and Christopher, and he used to come on the Saturday to see me play. So I'd see him outside the locker room, hello Michael, Christopher, both in their school blazers, give them their tickets and such, and went on. And that went on. And then later on, I moved on, and I was at a cocktail party, and somebody said, "Isn't it terrible about Joe's son?" And I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Well, you must have seen it. It's been in all the papers. The problem he had with Marianne Faithfull and some scandal." And I said, "No." She said, "You must have." She said, "Mick Jagger." And I suddenly said, "Mick Jagger is Joe Jagger's son?" And I never knew that. And Joe never ever told me that. And of course, to me, it was Michael, not Mick. And so I called up Joe, and I said, and he was very laid back, because I think he was upset at that time with Michael's behaviour, with Mick Jagger's behaviour, because he was a very prim and proper Englishman. And so he kind of laid off it, and I said, "Okay, fine." And I was shocked to think that here was I, Mick Jagger. So my brag, my claim to fame, I gave Mick Jagger tickets to watch me.
By the way, I'm with the Stones. I'm playing in Wembley. Here's a couple of tickets
That's right.
to see me play.
Well, his mother said the first time they sent me an invitation, his mother said, "If you go and see him, Gordon," she said, "take your earplugs." And that was Mick Jagger's mother saying about her son. But we're friendly. And Joe Jagger died a couple of years ago, just after his son got knighted. And Joe died, I think, about 91. And I was in correspondence with him all those years.
So how old would he have been when he passed away?
His father was 91 when he passed away, about 2-3 years ago. Yeah, so he was well up there. But because Mick is, what, 60 up?
Yeah.
Mick Jagger must be 60.
Upper 60s.
Yeah, he's upper 60s. Yeah, he's in his 60s. But again, I didn't realise that the one man, that Michael was the Mick Jagger. Jeez. Yeah.
Well, Gordon, I know it'll be another tremendous success. You can't wait to see these kids play.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of hard work for us at the moment. And as I say, visas, hotels, air tickets, getting everybody in. But it's worth it in the end, because it's a really, for me, it's a pleasurable week. Seeing these youngsters, having the opportunity to mix with kids from all over the world, and have fun with them, compete against them. It's just a great tournament. And
again, you'll see a majority of these games on the Texas channel. The Dallas Cup, April 17th through the 24th at Pizza Hut Park in Frisco. Gordon, Jago, appreciate it as always.
John, as always, thank you very much indeed, and thank Time Warner for all their support and doing the games.
We're most welcome.
Very appreciative. Thank you.
As always, stay tuned for more great programming every week right here on the Texas channel. Till next time, this is John Nelson saying so long, everyone.